Hey ladies and gentlemen, TK Owens here with TKO TV. I kind of took the holidays off because, hey, I wanted to do the whole family thing. And during that sabbatical, I guess you could say, a lot of things came up over the holiday break, including the passing of the NDAA by Obama on New Year's Eve, nonetheless. You've also got SOPA and PIPA, which are now currently dead in their current format, but trying to push their agenda. And also, over the last few months, you've seen this escalation of not only the U.S., but now the EU and Israel all placing pressure on Iran, which is a big thing to look at right now. People, we have to understand that if we go to war with Iran, they're going to incorporate Russia and China, which both countries have said that they would back Iran. Now, understand, people, both of these countries are bigger than us, okay? Both of these countries are bigger than us, bigger than Europe, and bigger than Israel combined, okay? They have more, okay? The U.S. said they started placing the sanctions on Iran because why? They don't want them to have a nuclear power, and they're sure that they're trying to make a nuclear weapon. My opinion, who cares? Let them do their own thing. As long as it's not threatening us, who cares? We placed sanctions on them now because they had threatened to close off the Strait of Hormuz. And, well, you know what? That's because they're trying to retaliate for us placing sanctions on them. Look at it like this, people. Every war in history, and especially in every war in the U.S. history, has started over sanctions. Okay? All the way from Revolutionary War to the Civil War to World War I to World War II, it all started over sanctions. All started over a certain country shutting down ports and economic, cutting off economic income to whoever they were wanting to perpetrate a war against. During the Revolutionary War, it was King George placing sanctions on the U.S. and closing off our seaports and thus starting a war. During the Civil War, it was the North closing off seaports and vital trade routes from the South and through the North, starting a civil war. Through World War I, you had Russia cutting off Poland and France. During World War II, you had Germany attacking themselves and then cutting off trade routes into Poland. During the Vietnam War, you had, the Vietnamese cutting off, trade routes. You had, and then bringing us in and with us just jumping in because we wanted their drugs and coming up with the whole Gulf of Tonkin incident. Everything starts over economic war. Okay? Economic war always leads to bloodshed, no matter what. Now, here's my opinion, and I've had plenty of time to think about this, just reading over the NDAA. I actually downloaded the entire bill and I read it line for line. It took me 2 days to do it, and I was disgusted. The next war that we fight is going to start on foreign soil, but it's definitely going to bleed into ours. And the problem with that is that my family, your friends, people that you hold dear are going to suffer for it. Okay? Your front yard is going to be red from blood. I hate to be really cliche, but it's never more fitting than right now. In the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson, he talks about you know, the next war that's going to be fought is not going to be fought on some foreign land. It's going to be fought in our front yards. It's going to be fought amongst our families and our streets and our friends. Well, we're at that point right now. Okay? If we go to war with Iran, Russia has openly stated that they will retaliate. If we go to war with Iran, China has openly stated that they will retaliate. Iran has stated that if the U.S., the UN, or excuse me, the EU continues to place sanctions on them, they will close the Strait of Hormuz, thus creating a war, because our own Pentagon, per RT news article that I just recently read tonight, stated that our own Pentagon, our illustrious Panetta, the piece of shit, openly stated that they were ready for war, that they didn't need to make preparations because we've already got soldiers over there ready and prepared. Wow, really? We've got 2 carriers over there right now sitting in the Gulf, just waiting for something to hit, just waiting for something to happen so that they can send them in and start World War III. And Iran has openly stated, another article from RT that I read tonight, Iran has subs waiting for something to happen. Because if they do, they've vowed that they're going to take those things out. Take carriers out, take planes out, take battleships out. They're ready. They're waiting. You know, there's been talk and from somebody's opinion that this has been planned for a while. While that I agree with, they've also stated that they don't think it's going to happen until sometime in like September or maybe a November surprise, as some have stated. I personally think that the agenda is getting pushed a little bit sooner than that. And I've been stating since about November of this last year that I think it's going to happen probably around the end of February, or at least start around the end of February. That's my personal opinion. Am I an expert? No. Am I always right? No. That's just my gut feeling. What am I doing to prepare for this? When I see shit hit the fan, I'm going to take my family and I'm going to protect them. That's my job. Okay? This is prime pickings for them to utilize NDAA against the U.S. citizens. Because the U.S. citizens, the people of this fine country, are tired of war. I know I am. I'm very sick of war. I'm sick of a president thinking that he can do whatever he wants, or a government thinking they can do whatever they want and get away with it. It's time to let them know that those days are over. I have a constitution that tells me that I have a responsibility to overthrow a tyrannical government, take them out of power, and put in a new government that is going to work for the people. My Constitution tells me that. It is our responsibility as American citizens to do such a thing. The problem is that the majority of our American citizens today pay attention to all of these horse-string medias, such as Fox, such as CNN, such as ABC, when the majority of Americans need to turn that shit off and start paying attention to the #1 news website on the internet right now, which is DrudgeReport.com. They need to start paying attention to people that talk about these things in a legitimate format, such as Coast to Coast AM, such as Alex Jones. They need to start listening to people such as Gerald Celente, who's a trends forecaster. They need to start listening to people such as Max Kaiser, who is an economics forecaster. They need to start listening to the people who have their heads out of their asses and not stuck up the governments. Okay? I personally am sick to death of our current government. I am personally an American citizen, a patriotic American citizen, and I will do whatever it takes to fulfill my vow. I took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of these United States. That's first and foremost in anybody that has ever joined the military. That's first and foremost in the oath that you took. You took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And then, secondary, to follow the orders of the President of the United States and all officers appointed above you. And, so let me think about this. Let's see. If our Constitution wasn't so important, why in our military oath does it say, I swear to uphold and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic? And then in small print say, and to follow the orders of the President of the United States and all officers appointed above me. That's at the bottom. If the Constitution wasn't so important, why is it first? Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Our Constitution is everything to this country. Our Constitution means freedom for this country. Our Constitution is what makes this country so great. What we need to start doing as a country and as citizens and as patriots is start protecting that Constitution. This is TK Owens with TKO TV. Thank you for listening. God bless.